On the docket tonight, the murder of an angelic little girl in Tennessee. Here's the tragic story of baby Evelyn.
Evelyn. Hi.
15-month-old baby Evelyn Boswell, a beautiful blue-eyed toddler from Tennessee, being raised by her teen mom Megan, goes missing with an Amber Alert issued on February 19th, 2020.
We remain committed and continue to do everything possible to find out what happened to Evelyn. And as always, as soon as relevant information and accurate information, I want to really reiterate that as it comes to us, we will get that out as soon as possible. Okay. Anyone with relevant information concerning Evelyn's whereabouts are asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND.
But that Amber Alert was not issued on the day she went missing. Baby Evelyn actually disappeared in late 2019. And her mom said she didn't report her missing because she knew the person who had her and did not want them to take off with her.
I've told TBI where to find her in Mendota. My mom took her to a campground and a silver camper, and if they don't go tonight, I'm going to go find her myself. Just bring her back. I just want her back. That's all I want. I've been so long without her, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, why didn't you report it missing earlier? Because my mom threatened me, and I just want her back. That's all I can think about is how much I just want her back.
But investigators were not buying Megan Boswell's stories.
We're aware that we've received a number of conflicting, inaccurate statements from the mother, Megan Boswell, Evelyn's mother.
What happens next is a strange string of events. First, Evelyn's grandmother, Angela, is arrested with her boyfriend in North Carolina for possession of a stolen vehicle, which was part of the Amber Alert. Then Evelyn's mom is arrested in Tennessee for making false statements.
We determined that some of the statements Megan Boswell provided to us were false. Many of the false statements that Megan made delayed our investigations and also impeded our investigations on trying to find Evelyn. As a result, she has been charged with false reporting.
Any questions about that? Ms. Boswell, any questions about that?
Then big breaking news. 2 weeks after Evelyn was reported missing, a toddler's remains are found.
This evening, we received the information that led TBI agents and Sullivan County detectives to a property belonging to a family member of Evelyn's mother in the 500 block of Muddy Creek Road in Blumpville. During the search, investigators discovered human remains believed to be those of a 15-month-old girl. The remains will be sent for an autopsy and a positive identification.
So now the question is, what happened to baby Evelyn and who is responsible?
Well, investigators and prosecutors believe it is Megan Boswell who is in fact responsible. She will be tried. We're tracking that case. Joining us tonight from WJHL is Anslee Daniel. Anslee, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Let's start here. When little baby Evelyn was missing, her teenage mom was out there and was talking, wasn't she?
Yes, she was. I actually conducted the interview with her the night before she was arrested, and she told me and my photographer that she knew who had Evelyn all along. She told us that it was her mother. She said that her mother then took Evelyn to Mendota, Virginia. She said that Evelyn was in a camper there, and we reported that information to the TBI. And come to find out, obviously, that was not the case. Also, she said that her mother had Evelyn the whole time, and that also was found to not be true as well.
Do we know much about Megan's life? Because she's 17 or so. She's a young mom. She lives, you know, she's part of this very dysfunctional family. But what was life like for her? What was her relationship with her mother, with her father? How was she taking care of this baby before she went missing?
From what we understand, Megan did have a history in the Department of Children's Services with herself and potentially with Evelyn. We also know that Megan has described her family as a gypsy family. She described it in the interview that you played earlier that night, kind of a moment that went viral in this case, as you know, she said that that was the rumor she wanted to clear up. Her father did tell us that he was the one that called the Department of Children's Services. He said that he hadn't seen his granddaughter in 2 months and was beginning to get a little worried. And so he called the DCS, and that's when the Amber Alert soon followed, according to him. Now, Evelyn was found on his property a couple of weeks later. However, Megan's relationship, she described to me with her mother, was kind of off and on to an extent. But as you mentioned before, it is kind of a strange web of how this is all interconnected.
Now, my understanding of the property that the family lived on was sort of a compound. I don't know if people are allowed on there or not. I don't know if you've been on the property or not, but from what you know, how would you describe the property, and how would you describe the area where baby Evelyn was found compared to whatever else is in that compound?
So I was the reporter that was on scene that night that Evelyn was found, and that property is owned by the Boswell family. Megan's father, Tommy, does live there, as well as Megan's grandmother. But the night that Evelyn was found, she appeared to be in a shed, pulled from behind a shed. That's where the coroners and investigative teams were. And that's where it appeared to be that night that she was coming from. Now, there is a couple of different hills on this property, so some family lives up on a hill and some live kind of down below. But Evelyn was found on the lower part near what I have been told is Megan's grandmother's home.
And any word from any family members since the murder charges now have been leveled against Megan? Has the baby Evelyn's grandmother or grandfather or uncle, whoever else is in this family, has anyone spoken out about these charges?
No one in the family has spoken out against these charges. We have spoken with Megan's lawyer. That's kind of been the closest connection that we have had to Megan here recently. And again, Megan's father has, continued to decline to comment at the time, and then we have not heard from Megan's mother since she was released from jail that night.
So, how would you describe the reaction of the community there? We're tracking a trial. Sometimes most of the time trials get held in the area where the crime took place. Sometimes it's such a big story that the defense tries to get it moved out of that area. How would you describe the impact of baby Evelyn's, the search for baby Evelyn, and then the ultimate death of baby Evelyn, how it's impacted the community?
This story really took our area by the heart, honestly. Every single day from the time Evelyn went missing until she was found, we had nonstop coverage. There were Facebook groups out about this. There were people from all over the world reaching out about this case. And so because of this extensive media coverage, her lawyer has asked for a change of venue for this trial. Now, not sure if that's going to happen just quite yet. However, this story really took this area by the heart. Every time we post anything about baby Evelyn, every time that we have any sort of update, we have hundreds of thousands of people following this case from all over the state, from all over the country, and even other parts of the world.
Yeah, I mean, you look at those pictures, and there's no mystery why everyone's, is heartbroken with the death of baby Evelyn. When there's going to be a trial, and there have been some court appearances, and I don't know how open they've been, but do you expect, having interviewed people and covering the story, do you expect anyone to be in that courtroom, number one, to support baby Evelyn? And do you expect anyone to be in that courtroom to support Megan Boswell, the mother, the teen mother accused of murder?
From what I can tell, I do think that there will be plenty of people in support of baby Evelyn. When the charges were brought against Megan, there were a lot of people reaching out saying that they weren't surprised, that they had speculated this. A lot of our viewers said that they had speculated that this would be the outcome of this. Now, I haven't really seen too many people saying anything otherwise. However, there are a lot of people that still write in with the conspiracies. They still write in with different theories of what they believe happened to baby Evelyn. However, all of the documents for this case have been sealed.
All right, Anslee Daniel, WJHL, doing such great work in covering this story that, of course, Court TV is tracking. So when that trial happens, we'll be there. Thanks so much, Anslee. We've got a hearing date coming up, folks, December 3rd, 2020.